lady is all that I know. She's over me. She's over me. She comes with her hypnotic dance. She holds me here with only a glance. She's over me. She's over me. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to the Paranormal Portal. It's Saturday night, and as such, we're bringing you 2 fun-filled, full, packed to the rim hours of the paranormal. So what more could you want? Thank you so much for being here with us. As always, we are thrilled and honored to be able to speak into microphones and keep you company on at least a good portion of your weekend. So thank you so much for coming in the door. We hope to make it worth your while. I'm not here alone, obviously. I got my good friend and co-host, Mr. Don Longbeard, here with me.
And what more could you ask for?
Microphone that's turned on?
My microphone's turned on. You still got me muted. And what more can you ask for?
Unmuted microphone?
That'd be great. Thanks. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing, man?
You know, if I was better, I'd be better, but I'm good.
Okay. Well, you know, we all put on those faces and charge into our days, don't we?
That's true. That is true. And this is my charging face.
Wow. Way to show up. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Don and I are here to entertain you as well as we know how, which really doesn't mean much. And you may be largely disappointed, but we're going to give it our all. Throughout the course of the show, throughout the second hour of the show, we're going to, open up the phone lines for call-ins. So if you want to call in, wait till the second hour. But the number you're going to call in is 720-923-0500. Again, that'll be the second hour of the show. So definitely call in then. And we'd love to hear from you guys. I know a couple of people said, hey, I'm going to call in tonight and talk about blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, fantastic. I'm looking forward to hearing them. But again, wait till the second hour. But hello to everybody in YouTube land. Great to see you guys.
Hello in TFR.
And hello to Nightshade and TFR.
There you go. Hey.
There's one person. Where's Bam? Bam's not even here.
He's just tardy.
He's tardy.
It's okay.
All right. Well, we got that. So, we got a lot to go through tonight, of course, but I think we should have a good time at it. Anything on your mind right away, Don?
Well, no, not really, but I mean, just the general stuff. We've got the Medaline Falls event coming up. I should probably look up what it's actually called. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I don't know if they had a tagline for it or not, but
they did. I should probably look it up. But while I'm looking that up, don't forget also that's June 18th, 19th, to 20th. There's going to be some big names there, isn't there?
There is going to be some huge names there. And this is in Medellin Falls, Washington State. So
he was about to say Washington.
I've never said Warsh. I've always wondered how the hell they put that extra R in there. Where'd they get Warsh? You go wash your hands and stuff,
You're wrenching your hands.
You go to Washington and wash your hands and, wash your mouth out with soap.
So. Well, anyhow. But that's June 18th, 19th, and the 20th, and I don't believe it's going to get canceled, which will be nice.
No, I think it's full steam ahead. I don't think there's much risk of that going sideways. I think it's, God. As far as I know, it's in stone.
It's in stone.
Yep, it's set to concrete. So, if you look that up, and we'll get that information up for our listeners and viewers, and we'll put it up in the YouTube chat and in TFR chat as well.
Nice.
Or we'll let you know where to go to get it anyway. But anyway, I suppose the best place to start, folks, as we go through this journey, let's start with the news. What do you guys say, huh?
The news.
You ready for some news?
News.
It's time for the news.
The news.
Go wash your hands.
Go wash your hands.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paranormal Portal News Desk. It's the only news broadcast in the world that features an applause. I mean, come on, we gotta find some points of distinction, and that's about all I got. I got an applause track that I can play with it. So, hope you guys are doing great. Thanks for joining us here on the news channel of Paranormal Portal. We got some great stories here for you, and let me pull up the first of our journey tonight. And this is kind of astronomical news more than anything.
Astronomical.
Okay, Don. He said astronomical. We're going full Beavis and Butthead here.
Wait until you read the headline.
Oh, you might get some mute privileges. And the headline is, folks, 2 probes arrive at Mars mere hours apart.
Well, at least it wasn't Uranus.
2 probes arrive in Uranus. Oh, no, Don.
At the same time.
Oh, hey, this is a family show. Well, we've hit the gutter pretty quickly, folks. This might be a new record for us.
Oh, wow.
Welcome to the third grade. All right, so this is talking about the new research vessels that are...
He's verklempt. Talk amongst yourselves.
I'm all verklempt. Oy vey. Space probes sent by China and the United Arab Emirates have both entered orbit into Mars. When was this? February? Yeah, it's 11th of February.
Yeah,
God, there's a lot going on Mars. Yeah. It's like a 7-Eleven out there, just getting some traffic. Okay.
MCAT, this is a family show.
Oh, jeez, don't even start. United Arab Emirates have both entered into orbit around Mars. So these are just orbiting.
Oh,
probes.
they're orbiting. Okay. They're orbiting.
Yeah, they're not actually making entry down. So on February 9th, the United Arab Emirates became the 5th nation to place a spacecraft into orbit around the red planet after its Hope orbiter arrived following a 7-month journey through the solar system. The probe is carrying the 3 main instruments designed to study the planet's atmosphere and will investigate how neutral atoms of hydrogen and oxygen leak into space. Oh. It will also capture some breathtaking. I don't know why that looks so weird to me. I was looking at it, I was like, breathe, what? Breathtaking new images of Mars from high above. The probe wasn't the only one to arrive in orbit around the red planet this week. Mere hours later, on February 10th, China's Tianwen-1, or Questions to Heaven, arrived safely as well. This makes China the 6th spacefaring nation to successfully achieve such a feat. Wow. Unlike the UAE probe, however, Tianwen-1 will actually send a lander down to the surface of Mars and deploy a rover, which will explore the area around the landing site. If successful, it'll make China the 3rd nation to achieve a soft landing on Mars, as well as the 2nd to successfully operate a rover on its surface. The mission is further evidence of China's ever-accelerating space program. Now you watch, they'll land, and then, like, theirs will turn into an attack rover. It'll go around like a transformer. It'll be like Optimus Prime stomping out other probes.
Like Little Yama. Little Yama. No more Little Yama.
Yeah. It's just going to become a whole battleground of wrecked bots down there.
I'm glad that they made a soft landing.
Yeah. You don't want hard landings on those
hard
deals.
landings with probes are not good. Yeah.
Oh, we'll grow up someday, folks. Just stick with us. We're going to hit puberty here sooner or later. All right, so that's the first article tonight, full of laughter and fun. The next one that we're going to cover, I didn't even think that was going to be the funny one, Don.
Oh, there's another one?
No. But I thought this one was really interesting. This is one I'm kind of excited about because this sounds like some decent research is going on here.
Oh, wow.
And this is from unexplained-mysteries.com. Study achieves communication through dreams.
Nice.
Scientists have found that it is possible to achieve real-time communication with a person who is dreaming.
Wow, Inception stuff.
Yeah. We don't often remember the details of what we dream, but for some people, it is not only possible to recall every detail of a dream, but also to control the narrative while they are asleep.
Oh, see, that's not good.
That's lucid, though, right? Lucid dreaming? Now, scientists collaborating across multiple universities, rather. That was almost a way bigger study than was believed. Have demonstrated that it is even possible to communicate in real time with a person who is lucid dreaming by asking them questions and receiving informed responses, despite that person being unconscious. It says unconscious. I don't know. That's a new word for me, unconscious. I don't know what that feels like. This extends to having the sleeper perform simple maths, follow instructions, or just answer yes and no questions with the responses coming in the form of eye movements or facial twitches. We found that individuals in REM sleep can interact with an experimenter and engage in real-time communication, said senior study author Ken Paller of Northwestern University. We also showed that dreamers are capable of comprehending questions, engaging in working memory operations, and producing answers. Well, it sounds like a calculator, for God's sakes. You just hit the nose 3 times. Tears come.
Hey, hit the nose.
Most people might predict that this would not be possible, that people would either wake up when asked a question or fail to answer, and certainly not comprehend a question without misconstruing it. The research could teach us much about the way dreams and memories actually work. Most people might predict that this would not be possible, that people would either, didn't I just read this? Asked a question or failed to answer. Yeah, it's the same thing. They did it twice. It was so good they said it twice, Don. The findings have been published in the journal Current Biology. Well, there you go, folks.
With the duplicated paragraph? That's pretty professional.
Absolutely. It makes it look bigger that way, Don.
Yeah. Adds more words.
I got to say that when I first saw this headline, I was like, oh, you mean they actually had communication with the dreamer to another dreamer was what I was really thinking. You know? But it's still, I'm sure it's still pretty profound, but it's just not as profound as I was thinking it was. So there's that, folks. You can probably interrogate people while they sleep is what that means. All right, so let's continue.
Yeah, interrogating people in their sleep that's not fair.
No, it shouldn't be.
Which reminds me of, what was it I was watching? I think it was like Black Mirror.
Uh-huh.
The series Black Mirror. And they had one where this person was talking to this person and to find out that it's actually an interrogation, and they put these people into this state, like this dream state. Yikes. And they're comfortable, or the idea is to get them comfortable and talking about it. And then when they wake up, they're all of a sudden convicted of a crime.
Oof.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
That's not
Dream
nice.
Police, yeah.
Yeet.
That would be crazy.
Yeet.
Somebody was just talking about, watching people sleep is boring. And that's why they were watching our show.
Nice.
I'm like, well, I'll try not to sleep on you.
You got 2 choices. You can either watch The Portal or watch somebody snoring. I'm glad we won that one. Here's another one, and I would just, before I put it on screen, I just wanted to tell you, this person definitely needs a manicure. They are gnawing those things down to nubs, and they use that for their image for the article. Man, those look at that thumbnail, Don.
Yeah, I know. It's just
Oof, that's like
wow.
there's a cuticle.
That's just the everyman hand.
I don't have any hands like that. In fact, I got to trim mine. I got some talons for him in here.
Can you loan me a hand? Not that one.
Oof. Yeah.
What's wrong with them nails?
Right. It's just, I mean, he's got them all way down.
Yeah.
Way down. That's like strange. The other ones seem
Is that
fine.
a toe?
I don't think so. It's a huge thumb, though. You look at the size of the fingers behind it.
Yeah.
That's an enormous thumb.
Wow.
Maybe that's the trick. All right. Man wins $1 million lottery prize twice in one day. All right. So one fortunate Colorado resident couldn't believe his luck when he managed to scoop 2 consecutive jackpots.
Wow.
God, I'd be happy with one. Winning the lottery is something that most of us can only dream of, yet for others, it's an event that can occur not just once, but twice. And sometimes within an inconceivably short space of time. Did I put it up? I did put it up on screen, didn't I?
Yeah, that's on screen. Yeah,
all right. This week it was revealed that a man known as Joe B., who had been playing the lottery using the same numbers for over 30 years, walked into a store on Lake Avenue in Pueblo and purchased a ticket on March 25th before deciding to buy a second from a separate store a few hours later. So he just played the same numbers twice.
So
that doesn't really count, does it?
Well,
he would get more of a share of the winnings if there was multiple winners, though.
That's true.
Incredibly, he discovered that both tickets had won the $1 million Powerball jackpot. Yeah, that's how it works when you play the same numbers.
Yeah.
If the winning numbers come up, it doesn't matter how many times you buy the ticket, they all win. Joe likes to play one play of his own numbers and a couple more plays with quick picks, the Colorado Lottery explained. He bought a few Powerball plays in the morning at 7-Eleven on 926 Lake Avenue and then stopped and bought a few more plays in the evening at Loaf and Jug. What the hell is Loaf and Jug? On 2050 Lake Avenue. So that reminds me, there used to be this chain of convenience stores, I think in Rochester, Minnesota, and I think I knew the owners of it. It was called Pump and Munch. Like, really?
It's right next to the Come and Go.
Oh, God. Let's get back to the article. Sorry. I just had to go there. The lucky winner reportedly claimed his prize on Friday. However, due to the coronavirus lockdown, he had to visit a special drive-through office to pick up the checks. According to the Colorado Lottery's website, when asked what he and his wife were going to do with his newfound wealth, Joe responded, "The boss has plans for it." The boss. He's a kept man. Colorado man. Yeah, there it is. There's the tweet. It's from England. It's pounds, 800,000 pound lottery prizes. 2 of them. Wow. Well, good for him, man. That's great. Awesome day for that guy. That's for sure. Isn't that? Yeah, I don't know. The Loaf and Jug.
Well, somebody in chat pointed out it's milk and bread.
Sure
Bread
it is.
and milk.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah, I mean, there's logic to it.
loaf means something else where I'm from.
Anyway, just don't want to pinch him is what I understand. Thank you very much. I'm here all night.
Well, that
folks.
was very charming.
Yeah.
Charmin.
Thank you. Yeah. All right. This is the kind of highbrow entertainment we bring every week, folks. This is the kind of stuff you've been missing if you're new to the show. So you might want to get subscribed. All right. So that's the next. I got one more to go.
MCAT says there's a convenience store in Nebraska called Get and Spit.
Oh, nice. Could do just a show on convenience store names. That's almost paranormal, really. All right. Let's go to the last one. And this one's kind of a tragedy, really. This is some really, really bad parenting, I'm thinking here.
Oh, God.
Can you believe that? Oh, Don always gets the sneak peek so he can see when I'm dragging him over. But you guys are not going to believe this either.
Dragging him in.
I'm dragging him in.
Like the cat.
Yeah.
Look what the cat dragged in.
Well, what the cat dragged in was another article from unexplainedmysteries.com. Parents name babies sanitizer and lockdown.
Oh, jeez.
The ongoing coronavirus pandemic seems to have produced some rather unusual baby names. I don't know what the hell you got to be thinking. Who the hell's going to name their baby sanitizer or lockdown?
Well,
Lockdown almost sounds like a cool like rap name. Oh yeah, bringing up lockdown in a minute here, folks.
It's spelled L-O-Q.
Or a wrestler.
Wrestler.
Could be a wrestler, but sanitizer, you can't do much with that one. That could be a hitman, I suppose. Kind of got the organized crime here.
Bring in the cleaner.
Bring in the sanitizer. All right, it says this is certainly a trying time for any new parent, but for some newborn babies in India recently, traditional naming conventions seem to have been thrown out the window in favor of names that, although undoubtedly topical, may seem a little strange under the current circumstances. According to reports, a baby boy in the city of Saharanpur, Uttar Pradesh, was named Sanitizer in honor of the popular hand-washing substance. Let's honor it. Used by millions during the pandemic.
It's not a hand washer.
Yeah, it's just a sanitizer.
It just sanitizes your dirt.
The strange naming choice isn't an isolated incident either in that place, whatever the hell that is.
Garden.
Yeah, that's where I was at too. So I'm just highlighting it for those of you reading along. Recently, it was revealed that the parents of newborn twins decided to name their children Corona and COVID.
No!
God, wow.
That gives a new meaning to CNC Music Factory. You can't touch this.
Yeah. That was Hammer, though.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, that was the Hammer.
Please don't hurt him, Corona and COVID.
There are also reports of a child in Basti district that has been given the name of Lockdown. The parents of Sanitizer, jeez, that even sounds stupid reading it, have said that they were inspired by the country's politicians who have emphasized the importance of washing hands to battle the virus. This is my way to contribute to the efforts taken by the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, and the government, said the boy's father, Omveer Singh. Sanitizer is helping us fight coronavirus, so I named my child after it.
Don't get it near Corona and COVID.
Yeah.
They just disappear.
Yeah, those kids will go missing. Oh, that's tragic though. But maybe in other countries that kind of thing is because as he's looking at it, it's a heroic thing. Like sanitizer's really helping to fight this virus, and that's a powerful name. So maybe that's his take on it. But man, that's a kid that's got to grow up with that afterwards, you know. It's like I don't know. I did have the opportunity to know of a parent who named their kids. There was two brothers, Orangelo and Lamangelo, and it was spelled just like orange jello and lemon jello.
Oh my gosh,
Orangelo, Lamangelo, and I was like, wow, boy, they didn't dig very deep for that. It's kind of neat that they pronounced it at least uniquely. I thought that was clever, but wow. Anyway, you never know, folks.
Oh my goodness.
You never know. I heard they had a sister named Aquanetta too.
Oh no.
You'd swear this is a punchline, but I swear this is what I heard. So I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not, folks. I'm just telling you what I heard.
Oh no.
At least for the sister. All right, so that's been our journey into the news,
sad.
folks. That is all kinds of sad. So I hope you've enjoyed this journey into the news. Let's return to our regularly scheduled program.
Well, those kids are going to grow up to be quarantines.
Yeah, wouldn't that be funny? Oh, they could just keep going with it.
Those poor kids.
They're
the one.
Their dog social distancing.
Yeah, exactly. The dog runs up and can't play with the dog. You got to shoot pork chops at the dog now because he's wearing a mask.
Yeah.
6 feet away. He's like,
That's right.
I don't even like you, CNC.
Yeah, CNC. All right, folks, there you got it. That's the news. I hope you enjoyed the news. It's always good for a little laugh. I hope you guys found some levity in that, and that's part of the reason we do it. Is obviously, a lot of those are really bizarre, but they're kind of fun to talk about, and I think we all need some laughs. So laughter is healing, after all. So we're just healing here, folks, as we go, and maybe embarrassing ourselves a little bit. That's okay. We're having a good time doing it. So, let's see. What do we got here? 3 minutes done till the break.
What?
Did you find that link?
Oh no! I bet it just
you got lost in the news.
I got sidetracked with the 2 probes in Mars thing.
So as it stands now, folks, Bob Gimlin is scheduled to speak at this event in Medellin Falls, and which is going to be, I mean, literally, it may be your one opportunity to see him speak, because Bob's getting up there. He's been doing this road for a long time, and if anybody's deserved to take it easy, it's Bob. He's been cutting lines across the country for years, and he's probably not going to do this for much longer. So it's an amazing opportunity to get out and see this man talk, possibly meet him, and what other activities he'll be involved with, I'm not sure. But also Ken Gerhard's going to be there.
Yes.
And he's going to be talking. I believe Adam Davies is going to be there, along with, several other people and experiencers. Last year when we were there, it was a much smaller event, and it was still amazing. It was fantastic. There were people in the crowd that had brought some of their castings of prints they found in the area. And just a really neat opportunity. If you get a chance, if it's possible for you to go, again, it's in June, but it would be worth the journey. This is one of those pilgrimages for every Bigfoot enthusiast, I would think. I know it's going to be epic. So definitely put it on your calendar if you can make it. Please do. And we're going to be there. Don and I will be there, so be a chance to meet us if that's important to you. I'm not sure if it is or not, but I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not sure that we're a draw, but we're going to be there anyway.
We can't draw.
I can
draw.
Yeah.
This is stick people.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's going to be a great time, and it's an opportunity to, get together with some amazing people and it's not going to be a huge event. It's still going to be a smaller event, but it's going to be, I'm sure, jam-packed.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of people coming. So
yes.
Hope you guys can make it. Any of you out there, if that sounds like something you'd want to do, come hang out with us. And nothing yet? Okay.
I'm slowly working my way there.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, again, we're about, I don't know where the bumpers are going to fall last night. The bumpers and the clock were not in sync. So I'm kind of watching the clock here. We're at about 20 seconds until the break should start. So I'm not going to get into anything more until we actually hit the break. But also, if you want to help support the show, check out the Teespring site, teespring.com/stores/paranormal-portal. And that is in the description, the show description below. That's where you can get your Paranormal Portal gear. If you're looking for gear, that's available there. So, hi, everyone. Joining while I was in the kitchen. Hi, Happy Girl. Good to see you. And hello, everybody. We'll have to do some shout-outs when we come back from the break, Don.
Okay.
There is the break.
Make sure you're chatting when we come back.
Yeah, if you want to get a shout-out when we come back, make sure you are chatting because that makes your name appear on the list. So, all right, guys, we'll be right back in just a couple minutes. Don't go away for more of the Paranormal Portal.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some from Amazon. By
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Paranormal Portal.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you had a good break. If you're new to the show, those breaks are kind of, they're absolutely necessary by design. It's not that Don and I are not willing to do a straight show all the way through. It's just that we are also broadcasting on TFR Live. We're broadcasting on iHeart, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live as well. And those networks have breaks every half hour. So to keep things in sync, I put together those video montages with music. And in order to give you something to do while you're waiting, otherwise you'd have to listen to commercials. So, and then I'd probably end up getting copyright stripes or something stupid, So, anyway,
Sweet.
we are back. And of course, back at it. This is half hour number 2 is now underway, and we're noticing, more and more of you coming in. So Don, who's here in the YouTubes?
In the YouTubes, we got Angel Love Oracle. That's a new name to me.
Yeah,
Hi,
welcome
Angel.
to the show. Very nice to meet you.
Aussie Tiger's here. There's Brad, Crookie Jarvis. Oh, here's a new name for me, too. Disco Beaver. Wow. We got Hush Fifi in the house. Happy Girl. Jess is here. Justin is here. Con Squatch is here. Kirsten is with us. Les is with us. Lindsay Bay. Lou the Good Dude is here. MCAT. There's MCAT. Haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
Michelle's here. Rachel gets it right. Rick, a.k.a. Purple Hobbit. Ruger Ridge is here. Taz is here. Hey, Taco. How the heck are ya? There's Titan and Warchild and Chris. And let's see. Anybody? People have been popping in as I talk. I don't like that. Let's see if I've missed anybody. Android Purity's here. Daniel Ravenstar.
Did you get Michelle McElroy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just saw that name.
I saw that name. Yeah.
Okay.
I saw. There you go. That's who I got. And a shout out just specifically for Sophia the Bot.
Sophia the Bot. Because we got Nightshade and Nikki's over in TFR, and Bam's over there.
Bam showed up.
And yes, it's Warchild. He wanted it in a
Warchild.
Homer voice.
No.
So that's all I got for that.
There you go.
We got a lot more. Rick, hey, good to see you, brother. Hello to you. Rick, the Purple Hobbit. Did you say him?
Yeah.
Okay. Because he said hello. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. And
Hush, Fifi.
does that sound like one of those yippy dogs? Like a Pomeranian name?
My.
Fifi.
It's not what they call him in prison.
Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, Don. Oh, no, you didn't.
Anyhow.
All right, so let's move the hell away from that before we get some litigation cooking here. All right, now we've got some cool stories tonight.
Nice.
Last night we had done a show that I pretty much dedicated to the whole camping in the wilderness and weird stuff that's going on, because I think we're all getting the cabin fever.
Right.
We want to get outdoors. We want to breathe fresh air that isn't frosty in the lungs, and get out in shorts and t-shirts and not much else, and experience the world around us again, especially following the extended lockdowns and craziness that's going on. So and so I know a lot of us have cabin fever, but I thought, let's talk about the things that are maybe out there, maybe make you a little happier to be home. Just saying. So we're going to go over some articles tonight to follow up with that, because I pulled up a whole bunch of info, and I got another couple of articles to go through there. And then we later in the show, we're going to go through an article by Brent Swanser that has to do with kids that were missing, like missing 411, but then they were found.
Ooh.
So we're going to go through that when, in the later part of the show. So just so as you knows, but the first one we're going to visit tonight is coming from justforspooks.com. Justforspooks.com. And this is 10 scary true stories about camping. This is my first article I found on this site, but it seems pretty cool. It's the first story on here. I'm not going to read everything, because they start out with camping is great, and except be careful. So we'll skip that first paragraph, because it's like most other articles. Yeah, I'll spit it out eventually. Just give me some time. The first one it's just titled January 10th, or 1/10, or 1 out of 10, I guess. Okay. 1 out of 10. Let me blow this up so that I don't I don't I don't sprain my iris as I'm trying to read this. In March.
Do I need to send in the probes?
No, you need to keep your probes all the way over there. Social distancing, Don. In this case, we need a little extra footage. A little more footage would be fine. In March, I and my boyfriend went camping into the woods in central Scotland. Heard shrieking sounds in the bushes, which I fully believe was our friends who had planned to meet us, as this was how they've always greeted us in the past. Wow, that's cool. But they never came out of the woods, out of the bush. I decided I didn't want to camp anymore because there was a slug in the tent, so we packed up. God, if you never mind, I'll get to this in a minute. We packed up and walked through the woods in the dark, and there were snapping twigs behind us the whole way, until we got out to the exit of the woods, and suddenly running footsteps behind us. And we both ran screaming and go to our friend's house, the one who was meant to meet us. And he was lying on the couch in his jammies, still was going to get ready to meet us later. So I don't know what those shrieking sounds were. And I don't know what chased us. But all I know is that now I got to sleep with the lights on, even 3 months later. So this is central Scotland, and of course, the Woodwose, the Grey Man, the Grogach, Bigfoot, that's all legendarily over there, and not only legendarily, but our good friends in Ireland, the Irish Bigfoot Research Organization, have done some research, at least in Ireland, and have found some amazing evidence that shows the Bigfoot are there, or at least some version of them. And, you know, there's the Woodwose, the Grey Man. There's so many different names, legendary names, and maybe they're directly, maybe they are Bigfoot, maybe they're not. You know, I know people like to pull up these definitions, but the definitions are about as valuable as any other idea. I mean, they're just people's ideas of what these things are. So the Woodwose always has this different description, a little bit different than the Bigfoot, and so people are like, no, that's a different thing. Well, it might not be, because there's biodiversity in these Bigfoot. It happens over here in the U.S. between the skunk ape and the grass man, and, you know, many other different types that are attributed to the Bigfoot phenomena. So they could all be the same thing over there. But in any case, thinking about Scotland, thinking about Ireland, thinking about the UK, you know, we often have a tendency to go, no, there's no way. That stuff's all cut down. But there's, if you watch the Walking with Wild Man Part 2, the Woodwose is the documentary that I narrated, and it's on Amazon Prime. And you watch through that, and you can see that there's definitely something going on over there, folks. They got some pretty compelling evidence. So, and that's again available on Prime. Kind of a self-plug. Don't get me wrong. I do have a vested interest in it, of course, but I wouldn't do it if I didn't believe in it. That I didn't believe these guys were legit, because I do, value my integrity. So, that's the first one tonight. That's in Scotland. Okay. Then they did a really big header. Here's number 2. My friend and I were camping in Utah near Ogden, and we were hiking around the base of Ben Logan Mountain. It was at night, which was dumb, and we got super lost. We sat on this rock to take a break and saw this storm down over this lake, like many miles away, but just super beautiful mountain range, etc. So we're watching the storm, and it's almost like the clouds are pouring over the mountains and then back over like really, really fast. And then we saw what at the time seemed like UFOs within the storm, but would have been ball lightning, but they were really bright orbs just sitting there for 10 and 15 minutes, not flashing or moving, and then would disappear. But the next thing we saw was these other lights that came over the mountains right above us and basically looked like a bunch of stars moving, but it was blocking out the real stars in between the points of light that were moving. So basically looked like a 100 to 150 foot big black invisible ship silently floating above us. Again, we couldn't make out the shape, but you could see stars disappearing as it went across them and then reappear as it went past them. We were in awe. Eventually found our way back to our friends, and it was super crazy.
It was cray-cray.
It was way cray. That's like cray cray. The new one, it's way cray.
Way cray.
Yeah. No, I just made that up. I don't know if that'll take off. If it does, just remember me. But yeah, I mean, that's a great place. That's how I saw my first UFO in the mountains right here. So I don't know what it is. Maybe there's something with mountain ranges and UFOs. I don't know. But it is cray cray, Don.
It is way cray. Way cray cray.
That does sound cool, I got to admit.
Yeah.
Now that you say it, it sounds cool.
Well, thank you.
All right, so we're going to go to number 3 on this list, folks. And this is a different friend of mine who is into UFOs and stargazing like me went down to Minnehaha Falls in Minneapolis, which is kind of right next to the airport. Yeah, it is. That's like not out there in the sticks. It's right in the middle of the metropolitan areas. So we were in the dog park area, if you want to Google. So we get there a little bit before sunset. And there are all these old ruins from back when it was called Fort Snelling. Like old school rock outposts. And we found one and sat down on it. We hadn't seen each other in a few years because I moved out of state. So we're just catching up. And by this time, it's night out. And there are tons of stars out. And we're smoking hash.
Wow.
Stargazing. That's not legal there.
I think you're going to see something.
You think. As we're looking, we see this really, really bright star planets, and we think we are guessing as to what star planet it is because, again, we stargaze a lot, so we kind of know what's what. So we watch it for about 5 minutes. It's not moving. And then we go back to doing our thing and chatting, and maybe another 5 or 10 minutes, I look back, and the light is gone from the place it was, which was east from above us on the horizon. Then we see this super bright light coming through the tree line, and it's over the Mississippi River, and it was like going back and forth, almost like it was messing with us. And we would move left to get a better look, and it would move right, and it would move left. And then this happened. We are in the field area, and there's a bunch of trees separating us from the river, with the light directly over the river, and all of a sudden we see this super bright light come up over the treetops. One super bright light on the front of the craft, which was acting like a spotlight, like it was going back and forth, scanning the ground. And so the spotlight in front, 2 dimmer lights in the back, so basically a black triangle one, probably less than 100 yards away, completely silent, about 40 to 50 feet long, on either 3 sides. So it comes over the tree line, like scanning the ground, and we're freaking out, like stunned. And I say, we're going to totally get abducted right now, dude. I was shaking and all that stuff. And so then the spotlight lands on us, and we could feel it like it was electrical pinches and goosebumps. Once the lights hit us, they cut it off. So it was just 3 dim lights on all 3 points. It slowly turned away from us, and we could see this exhaust. There's a lot of likes in here. So could see like this exhaust. It's like, wow, Scoob. Yeah. Coming out of the back. That I can.
That's actually perfect because what we're doing.
I know, right? Yeah. I need a Scooby snack. As billowing invisible rainbows. Oh, okay. So the exhaust he described as billowing invisible rainbows. It looked like if you drop oil in water and you get that kind of iridescent rainbow look to it. So it slowly flew away from us and flew over to the airport the wrong way, like it made an X with the runways. And we watched it slowly go to the horizon, sit there for a while, excuse me, and then went out of eyesight. By far the craziest UFO I've ever seen. It's really strange, though, because that we were in Minneapolis and there were supposedly doing test flights for stealth bomber plane, but this wasn't a stealth bomber, even those make some noise, especially that close. We looked up videos on the specific plane they were testing, and it definitely wasn't a bomber. Honestly think that they were probably military in that ship, and it was probably man-made UFO like a TR-3B or something.
Okay, so here's the deal.
Let's hear it.
It's not stealth as in no noise.
Uh-huh.
It's stealth as in it does not show up on radars because it has hard angles. It's not stealth because it's super quiet.
Uh-huh. Right.
Duh.
No, there is that, and I agree with you. But
Oh my goodness.
what
yeah.
I'm thinking of is they're in Minnehaha Falls, which is literally right by the international airport and the Hubert H. Humphrey Airport, which is called something else now. But essentially, they're when planes are coming in for landings, they got that big spotlight on.
Yeah.
And so I wonder how much of it was the hash talking, because
No way.
because there are planes going all around there.
Good Labrador.
Yeah, I mean, literally though, there's like it's a busy. It's the hub for Delta Airlines, for God's sakes.
Well,
I mean,
it wouldn't
they're
make
coming and going and coming and going.
It wouldn't surprise me at all if it was a helicopter either.
Well, there's the State Patrol helicopters and stuff that always use their spotlights, and maybe they were looking for somebody, and
Maybe somebody blazing a bull.
yeah, maybe somebody blazing in Minnehaha Park.
Go figure. Like that's never happens.
Right. So I don't know, and I'm not casting aspersions here, but there's so much in the story that could be just explained, and sometimes people get a confirmation bias. It's like, I want to believe, and so whatever I see, it's going to become. It's like,
Like a Tootsie Roll.
It's like the pictures you see of bushes, and people are circling these alleged faces.
Right.
It's a confirmation bias, I think, in 99% of the time.
Yes.
I'm not saying they never capture anything, but most of those pictures, it certainly doesn't stand on its own as evidence, because it's just too vague, So, but it's a fine story, and they could be right, but I can't imagine with all of that traffic that this craft could just go right over the airport like that without being controlled, without having controlled patterns by the air traffic controllers, because there would have been a disaster. There's planes coming and going all the time, so that would have been absolutely frightening. But anyway, just my 2 cents. I am familiar with the area. I'm familiar with what's up there. I used to live in Bloomington, which is right next to there. And it's not uncommon. You see planes all the time, especially on the horizon lines. It's like dotted with lights coming, that are coming in.
Like you said, it's a major hub.
Yeah, it is. So it'd be like going to, not as big as LaGuardia, but the same kind of concept.
Right.
There's a huge airport. People are coming and going all the time. So seeing spotlights and stuff, it's kind of normal. So just saying, I'm just throwing it out there.
Now, if they said they were sitting on a mausoleum in a graveyard,
Yeah, in the mountains. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, come on.
Right. So number 4, we're down to about the 8-minute mark. So here, the number 4, the summer after my second year in high school, I went up to Pike National Forest in Colorado. Sorry about that. I'm getting really raspy here. In Colorado for a summer field biology camp. It was pretty cool to be cool. It was pretty cool because I'd never been camping prior. Oh, that's neat. I had a small 2-man tent, and I shared with my buddy from school. We had met this kid at camp and instantly became really good friends. His parents were loaded, and his tent, which was about 10 feet from us, was huge, like a 10-person tent. The night before this incident, a huge windstorm blew through the valley and absolutely annihilated his huge tent. Mine was fine because it was low to the ground. Anyways, for the rest of the time, he slept in our tent, in our already packed tent. I slept closest to the door of the tent because I always had to pee in the middle of the night and didn't want to have to climb over people. So this night all went down. The night this all went down, I woke up, no idea what time it was, went outside to the forest, peed, and then crawled back to the tent. As I was laying there for a bit, there happened to be a lightning storm overhead, cloud to cloud, and as I watched the lightning illuminate my tent, I started hearing whispering. It was a female's whispering back and forth. I tried to hear what it was saying, but it was totally inaudible. The whispering started to get closer and closer until it was right next to the tent by my right ear. It just stopped. I didn't hear anybody walking or anything, and then all of a sudden, the lightning lit up the tent, and there were shadows of people casting onto the side of the tent. I about pooped myself. That's right, when the chanting began. It sounded like a different language, and all the females, a bunch of them, and I just closed my eyes and slipped under the sleeping bag and put my hands over my ears.
Slip inside my sleeping bag.
The next day, after breakfast, we all went back to the tent to get changed. So the new guy who was now staying with us says, "Pretty wild last night, right?" To which I responded, "The lightning?" He's all like, "No, the frickin' scary chanting." And I think this place is cursed or something. So it wasn't just me, but it didn't help that someone else heard it. It did help. It did help that someone else heard it and we could talk about it. Now, every time I go camping, I stop drinking all liquids 2 hours before I plan to sleep so I don't have to wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. Yeah.
I have a question, though.
Uh-huh.
So this whispering was inaudible?
Well, I think what they mean is it was
Indecipherable?
indecipherable, yeah.
Because doesn't inaudible literally mean
you can't
cannot hear?
Yeah.
Cannot be heard?
You're right.
As a matter of fact, I just posted in chat.
You did.
So he was not hearing things.
He was not, because it was inaudible.
It was inaudible.
No, he just wasn't able to make it out, so it's indecipherable. Good exchange there.
Sorry.
No, that's true. That's a good point. It is a good point. Where are we at here? 4 minutes? Okay. We can get through this one. This one is, I was camping in a campground on a mountainside with my friends around 10 p.m. I went to a well with my friend to fill our water supply. 8 bottles of 1.5 liter capacity. And we're getting nearer to the well. Suddenly the air became so hot and heavy, like there was something lurking above us, and the pressure pressured the air all around us.
Wow.
Without saying a word, we looked at each other and ran back to our tent. 100 meters feels like an eternity on our way back to the tent. We both feel the fear and then told our other friends to help us fill the water in the well. When the 4 of us come to the well, things went back to normal. Sorry for my bad English. No, that's pretty
Better
powerful.
than a whole lot of people.
Yeah, really. Yeah, it might not be your first language, but you're doing better than a lot of us.
So the air pressure, yeah. Could you imagine the air pressure getting,
I don't know what that,
like
it's thickening, you suppose?
the closeness of the air.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that, like being in a bottle, right?
Right.
And then somebody squeezing it.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's, a lot of people when they're ghost hunting and doing paranormal research, they talk about the air being thick, and I wonder if that's what these people are feeling. They say it's like walking through soup, like the air just feels heavy.
Right.
And that's pretty much what this person has just described. The hot part is kind of new, but still, God only knows what they were in the presence of, but that's pretty powerful.
Oh.
What do we got? 3 minutes?
Well,
yeah, I can get through this one.
Funny.
What?
Nothing. I'll tell you later.
Okay. I used to be in Girl Scouts when I was younger.
Sweet.
And one time our troop went on a camping trip. It wasn't in a campground, but there was a restroom nearby. During the night, I had to use the restroom, so I walked barefoot, mind you, down a small hill to the restroom, which had a very bright light inside. The entrance to the restroom had no door. Oh, that's nice. So as I entered the restroom, I saw 20 scorpions in a semicircle in the middle of the restroom.
In a semicircle?
A semicircle. I was so scared. Every scorpion's tail was curved towards the front, and they were totally motionless. And I don't know if this is how they sleep, and I quickly used the restroom and got out of there as fast as I could, hoping and praying I wouldn't step on a scorpion as I made my way back to the troop on the dark trail. Wow.
If he was wearing shoes.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been an issue, right?
Right.
It would have been stompy time. Dun, 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 like a hat dance. Yeah. Just like that, folks. That's how you deal with a semicircle of scorpions in a hurry.
Oh, man.
That's creepy, though. That is really creepy. Well, yeah, this one we'll have to wait for the next one then until we get back.
Okay.
Because, folks, we are knocking on the hour break already. And the time is flying. I hope you guys are enjoying yourself, enjoying the journey through the portal. But I know I am. War child. Ethan says, War child. I'm just looking at the chat quick because we had a few seconds here.
A few seconds.
Have I been missing anything?
No, not really.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. It's good to see so many of you here. Thank you guys for coming in, and let other people know. Let other people know about the portal.
Hi, Deb.
Hi, Deb.
Aloha, hola, good day.
And Brad 4C is here. Was he here before, Brad?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know that. Disco Beaver's here as well.
Yep, said that too.
You did? Wow. Where was I?
Sitting right next to me. Welcome to the show, Brent.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I'm glad I could make it. All right, folks, we're going to go to our break at any time here. I don't know exactly when, but again, the bumpers are a little bit off from the show clock, so I'm kind of winging it here.
We need more cowbell.
More cowbell.
Yes, Brad. Thank you.
Yes, we do. We can play with sound effects. Like, Don, remember that time when we were young? And no, okay.
Party on, Wayne.
Party on, Garth. Hey, Brad, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Actually, I just saw that commercial that they did, and man, they've aged. They've really aged.
I haven't seen it, but okay.
Yeah, it's just kind of a plug for something else.
Yeah, probably.
More like a commercial, but it was still kind of cool. Brought back memories. All right, folks, there's the bell. That means we're going to our hour break. So stick around. Don't go anywhere because we will be right back in just a couple minutes for more.
It's not a cowbell.
Of the Paranormal Portal.
Play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace their lines upon my body, dripping scars across my heart. Raging anger pours inside me as their lies keep falling apart. With my silence, I am not a stupid boy. No more breaking me with kindness, just you dance upon my joy. Leading me with empty promise, you're just another fucking mess. Taking off the slice of my sanity, just make sure that you're well fed.
she's with, they're attracted to the one thing about her that is different from themselves. Her life force, it is very strong. It gives off its own illumination. It is a light that implies life and memory of love and home and earthly pleasures. Something they desperately desire, but can't have anymore. Right now, she's the closest thing to that.
Poltergeists are usually associated with an individual. Hauntings seem to be connected with an area. A house, usually.
Poltergeist disturbances are of fairly short duration, perhaps a couple of months. Hauntings can go on for years.
Why, yes, they can. Hundreds of years, perhaps even. Thousands of years, perhaps even.
Would that be generational at that point?
Millennial. Millennial haunts. It's like there have been investigations at the excavated Pompeii, and they found some pretty incredible
Really?
Yeah, apparitions and stuff over there.
What about like Hiroshima?
I don't know. I mean, it's
Might
a
be something
functional
to look
city
into.
still, isn't it? Though.
Well, yeah, but they could still do because there's
Yeah, it'd be kind of hard to differentiate that from the normal haunts, I suppose. But with Pompeii, it's abandoned. I mean, they had to re-excavate it and stuff from all that ash, and yeah, they've seen apparitions.
Did you say all that hash?
Ash,
Oh,
ash, pyroclastic flows.
sorry.
The pyroclastic flows.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So anyway, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hour number 2 is upon us here on the Paranormal Portal, and as such, we would like you all to take this moment and think about how fantastic it is for us to have you here. Thank you for being a part of our journey into the Paranormal Portal, and we hope, if you're new to the show, that you will like and subscribe and ring that bell, because the bell is where it's at. That'll let you know every time we go live and we're doing what we're doing. And feel free to share these streams to your social media. That's the way you can help us the most, by spreading the word about the portal and helping us make this grow. So thank you all for being here, and let's get back to the regular scheduled program.
So real quick, 2 questions have been asked of me today.
Okay, where's my money? Oh, not that one?
No. No. They're like, that would be more like, where are your kneecaps? You took them last week, buddy. No, Brad asked if we missed him while he was gone. The answer is yes.
Absolutely.
He wanted us to lie to him, so yes.
Oh, I'm not lying. I miss Brad. I missed you, Brad.
And as for the boo knees, thank you. That was good, Titan, by the way.
Yeah, that is a
The
good name.
boo knee hat. No, I can't get boonies.
We don't have them available to us. So
Not readily. Maybe like a special order thing, but they're not. They probably wouldn't be too cheap.
no.
But I can look into seeing what I can do.
Yeah. So when it comes to any special orders like that, folks, just reach out to us and we'll do our best to accommodate it. If you've got some special article of clothing you want to see the logo on, we'll do our best. That's all I can tell you. I don't know. It's possible. But anyway.
Will you sign this?
For sure. We would sign it.
I would poop myself if somebody did that.
Done.
Oh my.
Oh my. Absolutely. I mean, there might come a time, Don, when people actually want to see our names written down. Go figure.
Oh, no. And you can get Brent's music at...
Portal pasties. Oh, no.
He missed it.
Oh, you can get my music at BrentThomasBandcamp.com. BrentThomas.bandcamp.com, I think.
I think it's either dot or slash.
No, it's not a slash. I know that, but I think it's BrentThomas.bandcamp.com. And I think, isn't that in the description as well?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Can you check the show description?
I don't type the show description.
No, I know. But read more.
Show more. All right.
Yeah,
let's
do
see.
that.
Yes. BrentThomas.bandcamp.com.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah. So if you like the music
Yeah.
you're hearing on the show, that's all my music. I wrote it. So if you like it and you want to download a copy of, there's 4 songs available right now. You can check out BrentThomas.bandcamp.com and download one. that'd be great. Thank you. Means the world. But anyway, I got tired of wrestling with copyright issues with YouTube. And I'm like, well, I know I can use this.
Well, Deb, we didn't. Sorry. Well, Deb says she finds it hard to believe we didn't sign her hoodie, but the problem is we didn't actually touch your hoodie.
Oh yeah, that kind of went right to you.
Yeah, that goes. You buy it from the store and they make it and they send it to you with love.
Yeah,
With
so
lots of love.
the only ones we actually touch are the winners when we do giveaways.
The wieners when we do giveaways.
The wieners, and we didn't sign any mugs or anything like that.
You know what? Maybe what we should do is maybe get a couple shirts and sign them, and then you can't raffle them because that's illegal in our state.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's illegal because it's a form of gambling.
Oh.
You have to have a license.
Wow.
So,
well, I don't know.
we could take $1 donation and put your name in a hat.
Sure. I don't know. But we are going through some camping stories right now, folks. And we are covering some of the weirdness that happens in the wild places of our world. There's a reason we stay home.
Not just quarantines either.
Yeah, not just because of COVIDs, but let's get back to this list and see what else we can dig up. And we're on number 7 on this one article out of 10. So we're moving along. But, you know what? We've got a phone call.
And you did say in the second hour.
I did say the second hour, and not to be outdone, Mr. MCAT. How you doing, MCAT?
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, how are you?
We're doing good, brother. How you doing, man? We missed you.
I know. Oh,
so humble.
You sound wiped out, man.
Yeah.
You all right?
well,
Yeah.
Are you okay?
yeah, I've been just out of the hospital.
Oh.
For what? Did you have it?
No, I got checked for it. I don't have it.
Oh,
Okay, good. Just a regular illness.
Well, it's something I've been carrying around for 40 years, and my adrenals don't work, so I have to take a corticosteroid
Okay.
to replace the adrenal.
Oh man.
So I made it to California, and I picked up my return trip heading back to Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I was running low, and I didn't have any replacement medicine. I figured I'll probably have enough to make it back, and I could pick some up and no problem. Well, I also had a gout flare-up.
Oh, jeez.
And I didn't know it at the time, but the medicine that I take for the gout flare-up combats the corticosteroid that I take for that. So
no.
what I had left in the tank was getting eaten up, and I didn't know about it.
Oh, are you okay?
So I made it to, well, I made it as far as Evanston, and my phone died, and my family called all the sheriff's department and every state trooper in 3 states that they knew I would be in. So they found me in Evanston, and they knocked on my door, and they're like, "Do you need an ambulance?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea."
Wow.
Oh my God.
So they got me an ambulance, went to the hospital, and they started work on my knee for the gout issue, and then they drew a bunch of blood tests, and they're like, "Okay, yeah, we know what's going on here, so we're going to get it fixed up."
Wow.
Wow.
And I was like, "Okay, cool."
Oh man. Well, I'm glad you.
So I had to go call my boss and have him pick up the truck so he could take it to the receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I'm going to have a job, but the funny thing about being in trucking is you usually have 4 jobs on standby.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, I'm really sorry that you went through all that, brother. I had no idea. My heart goes out to you, and I'm just, thank God you weren't driving and then lost all your steam. You were able to pull over and be safe.
That would have been really bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
So that's amazing.
Because I would have passed out and the truck would have been going 70 miles an hour with nobody at the wheel.
Right. Yeah, that's terrifying. So
that's scary to think about. Yeah.
But you didn't end that way. So that's awesome, and in and of itself, that first you're okay, and so is everyone else. And jobs come and go. I've had many of them, but
yeah, I'm not worried. I've already got one waiting for me if I want it, if this doesn't work out.
Okay.
I got to talk to this guy. I'm in a hotel in Salt Lake City. I just had some Chinese and
Okay.
going to watch a little TV, and then I have to order another day here at this hotel, and then I'll get a plane out Monday,
Okay.
head home,
Well, be safe.
and
brother.
get home Monday night, and then I got to go meet my boss and see what's up there.
Wow.
So we'll find out.
Yeah. Well, it sounds to me like you did amazing considering everything you're up against. So, and for whatever it's worth, I'm thrilled that you're okay and that everything will work out. I have no doubt.
Well, we'll see. That was pretty sketchy for
Yeah.
how far it went, and then I had taken that medication that I didn't know was hurting me.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things they stressed when I was there. They were like, "Don't take that anymore."
Okay. Ever?
They said, "I don't care what anybody says. No, do not ever take that again."
Wow.
There's another medication they want me to take instead of that.
Okay. Well,
That won't hurt me. And I was like, "Okay, noted.
Yeah.
I'll get hold of my doctor's office and get it ordered."
good
Well,
for you.
it's kind of amazing that that your doctor may not have known that, or, yeah, I don't know. It's. I would think that they would have an inkling that those two don't go together.
You would think, but
Well, here's the
Um,
good takeaway is that, you're safe.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
not only that, your boss has got to be pretty thrilled that you didn't just fold behind the wheel. I mean, it might have been an inconvenience for him, but his whole shipment is okay, thanks to your action. So, I mean, you did good,
yeah.
man.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, brother, my heart goes out to you, and if there's anything I can do, just let me know. Just please get some rest and keep bouncing back, and
Yep.
we need you.
I know. I'm working on that. I'm going to get some rest when I get home and figure out what's going on with the boss, and we'll see what happens.
All right, brother. Well, we're here and love to hear from you. Just give me a call anytime, I'd love to catch up as well. So just reach out to me.
Yeah, is we still doing Paloma this year?
We haven't nailed down if we're going back or not, but I hope so. And if not that, we're going to go somewhere else. So we're kind of exploring that
All right.
as we can. But yeah, and you'll be first on that guest list, brother. So
Yep.
So definitely get well, because we need your expertise.
Yeah.
And hopefully this next time we'll get Dan along with us too, and the two of you can really.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have Dan there.
Yeah, the two of you can really show us.
To
how
have
it's done.
both of our perspectives, but
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. Hopefully we can get that a go, and I'm thinking of redoing the one that I have out on YouTube and chopping it up into 3 or 4 segments.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Because those seem to play better.
Okay.
The hour and 20 minutes didn't do so lot, so
Yeah, it's
we'll
tough.
see.
Yeah, even for our episodes, sometimes it's tough to get people to stick around for all of them. But yeah, the shorter episodes are definitely more appealing to a wider audience.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the 22 minute is it's what everybody uses on TV, so
Yeah, exactly.
seems like a good format.
Well, keep me posted, man. I want to know what's up, and again, just reach out to me anytime. I'd be happy to chat with you, and thank God you're okay. We love you, and take care of yourself.
Yep. Absolutely, buddy.
I will.
All right,
I
brother.
will. And I love you guys too. And
All right.
I'll see you guys later.
All
Okay,
right,
brother.
buddy.
We'll talk to you
Be
soon.
safe.
Take care.
All right.
That
Wow.
was our very own MCAT. Wow, what an amazing journey. But God, thank God he's okay.
Yeah,
Oof.
no doubt.
That has got to have been scary. Oh, amen. I mean, things work the way that they work for a reason, and that's scary though. Wow.
Yeah, because that could have been all kinds of really bad for all kinds of
Yeah.
people and things. And
Yeah, exactly.
wow.
Yep. It ended as well as it could, for sure. We got another call.
Another call.
Another call.
Who could this be?
This could be area code 410. You're on the air.
Hey, how you guys doing? It's Android Purity.
Hey, Android.
What's up?
We're doing good, man. What's up with you?
Oh, not much. Sorry to hear about the other caller, man. It's must be a lot of bad energy going around. I'm actually dealing with a hard time myself, going through probably a life-changing event. There's a lot of bad symptoms with my neck and swollen glands and pain in my cheeks. So I've been trying to chase that down past couple of weeks to figure out what's going on. And my guess is maybe an immune system disorder runs in my family. So maybe I'm developing it as well.
Man, take care of yourself too, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I hope the other caller's all right too. Glad he is now.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
my main reason for calling is I wanted to tell you about a story. As you know, I do some real estate work also, and I thought about it was a small experience, but I wanted to share it with everybody. You always said call with the small experiences, so I thought you guys would like to hear it.
Absolutely.
I went to do this open house. It was in kind of an area far out from where I'm from, and kind of a rural area. It was an older house. Just doing a 2-hour open house to let people come see it, whoever wanted to come see it. And, you get there 15, 20 minutes early to basically, turn on all the lights, set up everything for, the potential buyers who want to come look at the house.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing I do when I get there is I set all my stuff down and I go around, turn on all the lights.
Sure.
I almost always do a basement of a house last. I don't know why. It's just kind of, I guess, that thing in the back of your mind. It's like, oh, it's probably going to be the worst part, You're in an unfamiliar house. And this wasn't even actually a listing. This wasn't even my listing. It was another real estate agent's listing. So I wasn't even familiar with this house. So I didn't even know it.
Oh.
So I go in there. It was a house built in the early 80s. It wasn't very old, but it was built very much in a traditional style. You would think it was a little bit older house. It was kind of not like a log cabin, but it was a lot of wood and a lot of stone, a lot of natural, materials. So kind of made it feel older, but the whole house just seemed to have a dimness and a darkness to it. Even now, it was a gray, overcast day, but it just seemed like even when you turn on the lights, everything just seemed so, I don't know, dim and dark in there. And I just, had a weird feeling in there. And I never really felt that going into a house before like that. And I kind of just ignored it, just thought it was just because, the whole gloomy day and just unfamiliar house. And it was kind of unusual, unique house. It wasn't like a cookie cutter home. It was a very unique, custom built home back in the 80s. Anyway, so I turn on all the lights and I go down to the basement. As I'm going down the stairs, when you walk and your pants rub together, it makes like a swooshing noise,
Right.
And I'm just like kind of going down the stairs real quickly and they're rubbing and, it's making that swooshing noise. And in the middle of that, I hear like, a totally different noise of a different pitch of like clothes rubbing together. Like it was totally different. Like it's somebody else was downstairs and they were rushing to get away from the bottom of the stairs and their clothes were rubbing together or moving when they were trying to get away. And it was so like, I stopped like midway down the stairs and I heard it and it was like, did I just really hear that or was that my clothes? But then I thought about it for a second, standing there on the stairs and was like, no, that couldn't have been me because, you're going down the stairs and every time you make a step, your clothes are making the same noise over and over and over again.
Sure.
And then right in between, taking a step, I heard that noise. It was like a higher pitched kind of noise of the clothes moving. And I don't know, it was so weird. And then I got down the bottom, I was almost afraid to turn the corner. I thought somebody was going to be down there.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you go in these houses, you don't know if maybe somebody's squatting in there or maybe there's a family member of the owner who didn't know the open house was going to happen and you catch somebody off guard. You never know.
Sure.
I got down there and it was just the creepiest, like it was a finished basement, but they had like some sort of, I don't know if it was an air conditioner or dehumidifier or something like that down there, I think running.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little noisy because of that. And there was nothing else down there. There was no furniture, nothing. It was like almost a completely empty basement. And it was just, it just had that heavy feeling down there. I've never really felt that in a house before. And, I did the open house. I didn't go down there the rest of the open house. Buyers would go down there. They didn't say anything to me. But when I had to go back down there to turn the lights off at the end of the 2 hours, man, it was just a very uneasy feeling. And I didn't hear anything else or see anything else, but it was just very strange because of that noise. It sounded like something was trying to scamper or get away from me, when I was coming down the steps.
Oh, that's creepy. Yeah. I don't know what it is about basements anyway, but if a house has something going on, it's always going to be in the basement. It's just always the basement.
It seems like it, and I was wondering that, basement or attic or something. I'm wondering, like, if there's an entity of some sort, maybe they like to go in areas that are less traveled to kind of hide out or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's, could be that it was never human in the first place. It could be just a different kind of entity, perhaps an elemental or something like that would, prefer to be into the earth than, up above it. And so there's lots of reasons. There's the dark, shadowy, no light approach as well. So it could be a lot of different things. But yeah, basements oftentimes are, can get pretty heavy. But I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, it was definitely pretty creepy. I wouldn't say it was scary, but it was just very creepy.
Yeah. So you didn't see anything else during this time. It was just that heaviness during this period.
No, yeah, it was just that. If I was looking to buy that house, I wouldn't think it would turn me away from the house, but it would definitely make me want to research the house more.
Right.
And we live in a state actually that's where you don't have to disclose the seller doesn't have to disclose to the buyer, if they think it's haunted, because it's not what's called an unquote or quote unquote material fact. It's not a physical scientific thing, so you don't have to. It's more of an opinion. It's viewed as from the law.
Yeah. Well, what was I going to say? I had this all lined up and everything, and now it's just gone from my head.
Are you thinking about those people who pay extra for the haunted houses?
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
That's what I was thinking. You were thinking.
Yeah, Don, you got the umbilical cord attached. We're connected, but it's surprising. Don and I mentioned this on a show maybe a year or so ago, and it was talking about, it used to be that the hauntings would be a detriment to the sale of a house, but now there's an active market, and people getting over market price because of a haunting. Like there's a lot of people, because of this inundation of ghost shows and everything else, everybody thinks that's kind of groovy to live in a haunted house, but you got to be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, because you never know what kind of spirit or entity you're going to end up with,
Yeah, exactly. Or if, they just don't like you for whatever reason. I mean, we've all experienced that, where you meet somebody, it's like, I don't like that guy. I don't know why I don't like him. The same is true for spirits. They just may not like you, and there's no reason.
The people under the stairs.
Yeah. So, very cool story, man. I appreciate you calling in and sharing that.
That's awesome.
My pleasure. I loved sharing it. Thanks for letting me tell it.
All right, brother. Thanks again for the call, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks. Take care, guys.
Take care.
So, yeah, I mean, we have mentioned those houses before, and we've talked about those houses before.
Yeah.
So, it used to be, people thought, well, the realtors have to tell you because it's haunted and it's something they're supposed to disclose, or if somebody was killed in the house. Well, but as Android said, it's not a material fact.
Right. Well, there are states that do.
There are, but that it's not a material fact in most ways. As a matter of fact, I think somebody told us they were a realtor in Massachusetts or something like that. And they said that they don't have to disclose it because it is not, basically what Android said, a material fact.
Yeah.
Now somebody being killed is a material fact.
Sure.
But that doesn't mean it's haunted, does it?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
It might have a bad energy, but maybe not an active presence.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that phone number was 720-923-0500 BIP.
BIP?
Yeah, well, see. Someone, ha ha ha, too bad.
What?
Bad Wolf Bip said the bearded one won't say it, but I think he saw it. He said if I say Bip, he'll call in.
Well, okay.
Nice try, Bad Wolf.
We've got
I said it just before you said that. So therefore, 720-923-0500.
Yeah, and we were about a minute from the break.
Yeah, I got another break, so there you go.
We're going to go to the last break. Wow.
Yeah, no doubt.
We've been making some progress here, folks, but the call-ins can continue after the break.
After the break.
So if you call in now, you're going to sit on hold until we're done, but we'll get back to you.
You just sit there and think about it there, mister.
You just go to your room and think about it.
To the corner. Nobody puts Bip in the corner.
Oh, you're gonna do the elevating dancing and stuff. Are you the Bips Patrick Swayze now? Not sure what's going on here.
As in like Ghost.
Oh, okay.
Now it's getting creepier.
You guys are just weirding me out a little bit here.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Anyhow,
folks.
there it is.
There's the bell. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes for the remainder, the last half hour of our journey. Don't go away. We'll be taking attendance. Wow, Don.
Wow.
It's the last half hour already.
Last half hour.
How did that happen?
Time is a fickle thing.
I brought you here, for I am Spartacus.
Zoom.
Spartacus.
Been watching
The Flash?
The Flash, yeah.
Yeah,
I've been watching.
Zoom.
I've been binging that.
Oh, yeah, I binged all those.
It makes my heart happy.
Makes
I'm like, oh, it's such a good story.
me tired. Makes me tired. He's always running.
He's always running.
All right, folks, welcome to the last half hour of our journey tonight.
I
Hope
wonder
you
if
are.
his legs are tired because he's not been running through my dreams. Never mind.
Sorry, I couldn't resist. That was like
that's,
that was totally set up.
I opened the door for you.
You did. Yeah, you totally did. That was a garage door, too, let me tell you.
Slam, lock.
Yeah.
Go away.
All right, folks. As such, so I gotta. We're not no calls on deck. So
No
it looks
calls
like
on
we're-
deck. So if he gets into a Brent Swanser story, you're gonna have to wait or tough luck tonight. Sorry.
Yeah, we can't interrupt the Brent
No.
Swanser stories. They're
No.
kind of like sacred fruit around here.
Sacred fruit
Sacred fruit.
from the tree of knowledge.
I'm going to get into this because it's we oftentimes refer to the missing 411. We've done shows about it, but this is an article from Brent Swanser from July 12th of 2020. And looks incredibly interesting. I haven't pre-read this, so we're going to be reading it together, but everything he writes is amazing. If you want to support his work, you can head over to mysteriousuniverse.org. Check out his articles there. You can head over to Facebook group called Dark League Paranormal.
Dark League.
And get involved over there. It's a great community of wonderful people dealing with the paranormal and the weird and the Fortean and mystery stuff. And just a great time, great people. So get involved over there. Speaking of Facebook groups, head over to Paranormal Portal Fans as well.
Yes.
That's the Paranormal Portal Fans page, and it's growing. And we'd love you to get involved there.
Growing like a canker.
It's growing like a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
So if you want to get involved in some of the wonderful conversations going on from listeners of the show. And also I'm over there quite a bit checking in on things. So definitely do that. That would mean a lot. Help to make our presence grow for sure. And if you're new to the show, again, if you're watching on YouTube, please check it out. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, and hit the bell. And we'd love to make you part of the Paranormal Portal family. Okay. So let's get to this article. This is from mysteriousuniverse.org from our very own Brent Swanser. Weird cases of kids who'd vanished and reappeared with strange stories to tell. So these are kids that vanished and reappeared. So I like this because it's not, kind of a macabre thing like, they disappeared and nobody knows. Let's check this out. Among all the cases of mysteriously vanished people there are out there, some really seem to stand out as particularly odd. In some cases, the disappeared doesn't manage to stay that way and reappears hours, days, or even months later, often with no clue as to what had happened or with some very strange tales to tell. This has happened particularly with children who on many occasions seem to just vanish into thin air, only to come back with tales that are just as phenomenally odd as they are unexplained or unexplainable. The oldest report we have here allegedly occurred back in August of 1897.
Wow.
When a 6-year-old girl, who else could find that information except Brent Swanser?
Brent Swanser, yeah. Exactly.
God, he is just brilliant. When a 6-year-old girl named Lillian Carney went missing in the U.S. state of Maine as she was out with her parents picking blueberries. According to the parents, she had vanished right under their noses. A preliminary search of the area would quickly expand to over 200 acres.
Wow.
200 searchers, rather, scouring the area and calling the girl's name. All to no avail. After an extensive search, Lillian was found in the woods in a dazed, trance-like state.
Wow.
When asked what had happened to her, the dazed girl replied that she had been in a place in the forest where the sun had shone the entire time that she had been there. This was rather odd considering the weather at the time of her disappearance had been partly cloudy and she'd been enveloped by a thick canopy of trees far from any town, and she had been missing overnight for around 46 hours.
Wow.
What was this continuous sunlight she saw? And what significance does it have in Lillian's disappearance? It remains unknown.
Wow.
Another bizarre case happened in 1922 in the wilds near the small village of Orsta in the southwest of Kolsva in Sweden. Here, 8-year-old Austin Engström lived with his parents, and one day he was walking home from school, as usual, along with a classmate, with the two deciding that they would go to the classmate's house to play with some other kids. When they were done, it was about 3:30 p.m., and Austin began his walk home alone. It wasn't too far to his place, and it was something he would have done many times before. It should not have taken him long to get home, but he never arrived. And when 7:30 p.m. came when the family became extremely worried. Sending Austin's older brother Gustav to go find him, Gustav spoke with the classmate who told him that the boy had left at 3:30 and should have long been home. Gustav would look around the entire route but saw no signs of his brother. But when he returned home with the bad news, Austin was there with his parents, shivering and with a strange story to tell. According to Austin, he had been walking home when he took a detour through a wooded area and a bizarre series of events began to play out. The boy explained how the forest had suddenly come alive, with myriad wildlife crawling from the trees and bushes to scurry about. And as this happened, the day turned dark, and as if there were a passing storm clouds, but the sky was still clear. He then noticed a strange acrid smell permeating the air, and when he looked up again, he saw something very weird. Indeed, Austin would explain, I looked up and noticed 3 gray objects hovering silently above me. They were so close I could have thrown a stone at them. The objects were pulsating as if they were breathing, and I saw 2 dark lines on them. A bit further away over the woods, another 2 objects were floating. They were bigger and darker than the ones above me. He explained that the next thing he remembers is he was lying down on the road in the dark, a short distance from his home, freezing cold and disoriented. In the sky, a pulsing light was retreating into the night, and everything around him had been deathly silent. He then walked to his house to tell his parents about what had happened, and they thought it was just his wild imagination. Oh, really? Wow. Oddly, Gustav said that he had thoroughly searched the road where his brother had claimed to have woken up on, but had not seen him anywhere. Of the intervening 4 hours from when he left his friend's house to where he stumbled up to his home, he had no memory. The boy would in later years be interviewed by Swedish ufologist Claes Svan and Andreas Olsson, and they would get a little more information out of Austin, who would explain to them, where was I during those hours? I estimate having been gone around 4.5 hours. I didn't arrive home until 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the evening, and I almost got beaten because they believed I was lying. They sent me to bed, and I was bedridden 4 days in fever, or I think it meant fever, but it says fever. Probably I had caught a cold lying on the road. It looked as if the objects were pulsating simultaneously, all 3 of them, just like octopus functioning. They take in water and move by blowing it out. It looked like the objects used the same technique. They moved in a very elegant way, changed direction, and appeared to steer with this pulsating. Where was I? Gustav cycled this way while I was lying there without seeing me. I've pondered on this so many times. What happened to this boy? Who knows? Moving up into the 1960s, there's a very strange case I dug up on the Missing 411 Reddit forum from a witness who claims this tale was told to him by his father. It supposedly happened in the 1960s in the country of Ethiopia and revolves around his father when he was just 9 years old. On this day, the father was plating with a friend named Gabriel, I'm not sure what plating is, after school in the fenced-off backyard of the father's house. The poster says of what happened next. My dad turns his back for a second, then turns to look back at his friend, and Gabriel is gone. It's important to note that my dad and Gabriel were in the top 1% of Ethiopia's ruling elite. My dad's father was Minister of Interior of Ethiopia, and Gabriel's father was a 4-star general in Ethiopia. The backyard Gabriel disappeared from had a 10-foot bricked walls with armed guards patrolling on the outside. A couple hours pass, and his parents My dad's parents and guards are searching, but no Gabriel. 48 hours pass, and now there's a nationwide search for this important general's kid. It's on the news. Police are searching door to door, describing him and what he was wearing when he disappeared. He's wearing his private school uniform, white shirt, brown pants. Helicopters even search the countryside looking for him. Still nothing. A month passes, then 2, then 4.
Wow.
People start losing hope that he would ever be found and think the worst. And that was that for months, and no further trace was uncovered until exactly 6 months later, when Gabriel was found in the same fenced-off backyard, wearing the same clothes he had been in when he vanished. The boy seemed dazed and confused, and appeared to only think that a couple of hours had passed, rather than a full half a year.
Wow.
And the poster explains this is where it starts to get weird. Once they confirmed he was okay and started asking where he had been, he said a couple of nice men took him on a trip. He was in a white room that glowed, and other children were there from different countries. And he said he was surprised that the nice men who looked like white guys could speak Ethiopian, and he could understand what the other children were saying, even though they were not Ethiopian. The white glowing room had no windows, and the doors disappeared into the walls. There were buttons on the walls, and if a kid pushed them, a bed would come out of the wall. And he said he was then all of a sudden in a city that was glowing, clean, and cars were flying around him. He said there were people there, but they looked strange, like us, but different. One nice man was still with him and took him into a tall building where he said he had to stay there for a while, but showed him a room where he could use it for his entertainment. Gabriel said he could push a button on the room itself goes places. An open field, a bench, the room itself even flies. He said after a couple of hours he was taken back to Ethiopia and appeared in the backyard. He thought he was only gone for a couple of hours total. No one believed him, and Ethiopia being a super religious country, most adults around him thought he had got possessed by the devil. Gabriel even was forced to see a priest to get the evil spirits out of him. My dad still kept in contact with him throughout their lives. Gabriel got a doctorate in physics and I believe works in Holland still.
Wow.
How's that for a story?
Yeah, no doubt. Isn't there a story about? Isn't there something about the Holy Grail being somewhere in Ethiopia? A Christian? Yeah.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. But that is. There's a lot of strangeness.
So very Christian and very religious because it was mentioned. Sorry.
Truly bizarre, to say the least, on this very same forum is another very unusual case from a poster called Showmaker 27, who has a weird story to tell, but is very vague on specifics. He only says he's from a Middle Eastern country and has a story to tell in which he does not want to use any real names or places. The incident supposedly happened in the 1980s, and the poster says of it, "Back in a country I will call Topia. There's a small village, the type of village on which everyone knows everyone, the type of village that everyone is familiar with everyone and everything. There was this boy who I will call X. He was around 12 when this happened. He comes from a typical middle-class family. His father is a nurse. His mother is a housewife. However, this boy is a genius. He was a prodigy, top of his class every year. Teachers were baffled about how smart he was, especially in science and math. I can't stress how smart he was, in everything, really. He was one of a kind. Since it's a small village, the school bus parks at specific points. It doesn't go house to house. This means that most of the kids would have to walk for at least 5 minutes so that they can get on and get to and from their house and the gathering point. One day, X never came back home from school. His family asked his friends on the bus and the bus driver, and I said that he was on the bus and he'd get off at a gathering point, just like he did every other day for the past 8 years or so. This means he went missing during the walk from the point to the house. Authorities were alerted, search parties started, but there was literally no trace of him. 2 weeks had passed and the local authorities gave up. It was a Middle Eastern rural village in the 80s, so don't be surprised. And this is where it gets scary and interesting. Nearly 3 weeks later, after X gone missing, he comes back home in the exact same time that he usually comes back from school, with the same outfit, same backpack, same everything. The day he went missing, as the day he went missing. He's surprised about why his family is crying and hugging him because he doesn't have the slightest idea about the fact that he was missing for almost 3 weeks. When asked and questioned, he really doesn't remember a thing. In his mind, it was still the same day 3 weeks ago, like he hadn't gone missing at all. Needless to say, he was never the same again. His grades dropped massively. He had difficulties understanding everything. He's still alive up to this day, working as a garbage man. He's a decent man, very well-mannered, loved and respected by everyone, but what happened to him remains a mystery.
Wow.
Yeah, weird, huh? These sound like a lot of abductions, huh?
Yes, they do.
So what is going on here? Also in the 1980s, there's a first-hand account from a Reddit poster called Black Cat Mob, who describes how he mysteriously vanished under strange circumstances in the summer of 1984 when he was just 4 years old in the northern Carpathian mountains country of Romania.
Wow.
At that time, he was visiting a mountain village and resort area called Vatra Dornai, and it was a pleasant day, and he was out with his grandparents looking around the village, but things were about to get really odd indeed. He says, "A fairly pleasant day, birds chirped, the creek whispered, and there was a warm, sweet-scented wind rushing with the lush green trees. It was nearly noon when my grandparents and me were on our way into the boutique of sorts for some unknown reason. I really don't know why I got so weirded out by that shop. I didn't want to go in, and I told my grandparents that I didn't want to, but they tried to drag me along. I'm a dog now. Dogs aren't allowed inside. I grabbed a light pole in front of the shop and hooked my arms around it like children tend to. I was serious about it and demonstrating with stubbornly clinging to it, hiding my face from Grandma and Grandpa, and I remembered my gran losing it and just telling me, fine, dogs stay where you leave them. I simply nodded, happy to have gotten my will. I barked, panted, and looked around, scratched my ear with a pretended claw, and then it went fuzzy. Suddenly, I focused into consciousness, and I don't know how else to describe a slowly growing sense of recognition, like waking up or wiping off your dirty glasses and suddenly seeing properly. I hope that makes sense. Walking down the side of the road, the bridge now in my back, the river to my right, the rocky slope to my left, and the woods looming over the street. The shop was over 500 meters behind me. I was suddenly aware that there were no people at all. I felt it, a hollow, empty feeling of loneliness. I was truly alone. Then I noticed it was silent. There was no sound whatsoever. The river, the wind, the birds, all gone from the sound sphere. I couldn't even hear myself. I walked in absolute silence. I suspected that all movement around me had stopped, and my mind was working miraculously, effortless, and crystal clear, even at that age, and I marveled at that, since then I never reached that level of clearness and concentrated logic. And that is a remarkable thing, and I made several paces on the pavement, and I looked to my feet, and I noticed that I was throwing out 6 long shadows into every direction. Wow. I was the center of the shadow star. I asked myself where the light was coming from. So many shadows weren't normal. I knew that. I tilted my head to look up in the sky. There was no sun, no moon, no light source whatsoever. It was strangely dim, though. I was in a most remarkable place. Nowadays, I name that place either behind the curtains or hallway to reality. Right as I started to fully realize the strangeness of the situation, I focused again into holding the pole. I felt dazed. For me, this situation took only 5 minutes. My grandpa grabbed me by the shoulders, frantically asked me where I had been. Why did I wander off? Confused, I told him, I was right here. I was a doggy. I waited for you to come out again. And then he scooped me up and yelled that he has found me. About 10 people, including people from the shop, from the hotel, and the train station, gathered around, and everybody was relieved. They talked to Grandma and Grandpa, and as my grandpa told them what I told him, they shake their heads. Grandma's eyes fogged up, and it was then I was told that they had formed a search party to find me. I was nowhere. Nobody saw me. Nobody found me. Only when I was back from that place. I got really sick afterwards, 3 days of fever and diarrhea. The doctors told my grandparents that I had food poisoning. We all ate the same, but I was the only one getting ill. After that, we left the resort, and I never got back to that place. My parents weren't told the story right away, only several months later, which I thought weird, but my grandparents probably had their reasons. Yeah, like mom and dad won't leave him here anymore.
Yeah.
Moving into later years, in the summer of 2013, 2-year-old Amber Rose Smith vanished from right in front of her home in Newaygo County, Michigan. According to the father, he had been watching her play, and the family's 2 dogs, when he stepped inside for a moment to relieve himself. When he had gone back outside, she was nowhere to be seen and would not respond to her name being called. The dogs appeared not long after without Amber. An intensive search involving hundreds of volunteers and emergency workers was launched to no avail. And the next day she was found around 2 miles from her home, standing in the middle of the road that had already been searched and staring into space. She was unable to express what had happened to her, but seemed to definitely be in a state of shock and disorientation. It was odd, since this was a 2-year-old girl and she had somehow managed to navigate her way through thick wilderness and frigid temperatures that gripped the area that night. One sheriff named Brian Boyd said of the weird incident, "It's hard to imagine how a 2.5-year-old can survive that distance through the woods with that kind of temperature. There's some that aren't convinced she walked that entire distance. Maybe she was dropped off. Those are things we might have to determine in the future." Very strange indeed. In another more recent case of what seems to have been a trip into some pocket dimension, we have poster Winsron and his childhood experience. At the time, he lived with a foster family on a wooded property with a clear trail that he and his foster brother often hiked together. They knew the area very well, and on this day they went for a walk along it on a bright summer's day. Little did they know that they were headed for a trip to the land of the weird. He says of the trail and this unsettling experience, "To clarify it a bit, we were walking on the trail you could see clear as day and see the lake and the huge clearing camping area where people would park their campers. I would say a mile away at the most. My brother and I frequented the trail a lot because we liked catching bugs and frogs and the sort. And there was one day it was bright sunny in the middle of July. And this is in the Midwest U.S., so muggy and hot. Me and him are walking the trail, and I hear what started out to be a faint clicking sound. To this day, I have yet to hear a sound like it. It progressively got louder to the point that you would have to be deaf not to hear it. The weird part was my brother did not hear a thing. It started to startle me on how loud it was. My brother decided to start carving into a tree, which he did frequently, but I urged him that we should leave because I was scared. Once he started something, he had to finish it, so he had to wait for him to finish, so I stepped no more than 15 or 20 paces from him, and my foot felt like it fell through something. So I stumbled a bit looking down, and when I looked up, nothing looked familiar, and it seemed like I was dropped in the middle of a forest with no end to it. It was really cold and absolutely no sound. My brother was nowhere to be found, and I felt extremely terrified, so I took off yelling and screaming, and I ran for a good distance, and I had the same sensation where I felt like I missed a step and stumbled forward. When I looked up, everything was normal and could hear my family calling my name. When I approached them, they looked frantic and said they had been looking for me for a couple of hours. No one ever believed me. Oddly, the witness says that he had the smell of burning rubber that seemed to follow him around and could not be washed off for several days after this. How do we explain the strange details of these cases, such as the sudden silence, the missing time, the most obvious and completely altered landscapes these people often find themselves in? It seems almost as if they might be stepping through some veil between this reality and another, perhaps lingering into some limbo realm between the two. And it is enough to make one wonder what would have happened if they had stepped all the way through. Would they have vanished off the face of the earth or simply come back with an even weirder story to tell? So there you have it, folks. That is an amazing article. Well done, well researched, as always.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the first one was back from 1894, did he say?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, what was it? Let me go way up. Let me go way up and look. I just can't even believe it. It's like, really? 1897. Wow. Yeah. Yep, 1897 till present day.
He finds the oldest stuff with the best stories.
He is, yeah, there's no question, man. He's on it, dude. He is on it. So, but you know what we're on, Don?
You're on the story about the slug you were going to tell.
Oh, I just was marveling at the size of the slugs here. No kidding, folks. They are the size of a pencil and about as round as a cigar.
I haven't seen a slug in like 14 years.
Oh, you just got to come by the garden here. I'm telling you.
I haven't seen slugs.
They
in a
are
long time.
huge. They look like leopard print and everything. They're just enormous. I mean, they're really spectacular. I was so surprised. I didn't know they could get so big. This is a slug. It's like a snail without a shell, but it doesn't need a shell. It's like freaking Godzilla, you know?
Huh.
Pretty intense. But anyway,
Wow.
just a trivial piece
Well,
of
there
knowledge.
it is.
There it is, folks. We're out of time. Stick around for Paisley Wild coming up next, right where you are, or check her live streaming on YouTube as well. Love you guys. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other, help each other out. Find the magic in every day. And remember to laugh as much as you can. Good night, everybody.
Good night.